One of the things I wanted to prove is that you could just pick up your phone, literally like this, front camera, and get hundreds of thousands of views. Things always grow exponentially if you're doing the right thing. So in July, I did a 3-day social media training. And one of the people DM'd me a few days ago now. She said, just to let you know, I was on the program and I was at 7,000 followers and now I'm at 34,000 followers. Wow. And I have made £10,000 since then. You should have charged me more. Yeah. That's what she said. And it's because she took only one of the principles I mentioned, which was LinkedIn. People don't realize LinkedIn is the most viral social media platform. Is it? The reason why is because it's moments like this I realize I've given my life to content a lot of time.
Guys, today's episode can only be described as a lesson with a Jedi master, and he has mastered the art of content creation. Sterling Record went from 0 to over 100,000 followers in less than 6 months, and now he replicates his strategies with some of the world's leading brands. Today he shares all on what you can do to take your content to the next level. This is one not to be missed. Now enjoy. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of What My Best Friend Does, where we talk to guests in the hope of inspiring you to take immediate action to find the career of your dreams. Today, we got a good one, people. I'm joined by my best friend, Sterling Record, who helps brands, businesses, people make 6 and 7 figures on the regular.
Yes, sir.
Sterling, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, bro. I'm blessed.
Thank you for having me.
Bro, thank you for coming onto the show.
No worries.
We like to start with a little icebreaker. Mm-hmm. What did you want to be growing up?
Oh, what did I want to be growing up? I wanted to be like KSI.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to be one of those YouTubers.
Bloody hell, that shows our age. Wow, KSI.
I wanted to be like KSI. I remember one time I started a gaming YouTube channel, but my mum didn't want to buy me a good laptop. So I was suffering. It was glitching. The recording wasn't working. So I said, maybe this isn't for me.
Yeah.
But it's funny how life's kind of worked out now and I'm helping people do those kind of things. Yeah. But that's always what I wanted to do.
Was it FIFA by any chance? Call of Duty?
No. It was Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I used to play a lot of Minecraft.
Oh, okay.
I used to play everything.
Okay,
yeah. Okay. FIFA I was in, but more for pro clubs.
Yeah.
Not for the deep stuff.
Yeah.
Just for the fun.
Not Ultimate Team.
No.
Okay.
But I'll play everything else.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wanted to be like a variety gamer, streamer kind of thing.
Yeah.
But hey,
here we are.
Mom didn't want to buy the computer, so.
But look, everything happens for a reason, right?
Yeah.
And now, obviously, you are working in the content creation space. But yeah, before we talk about specifically what it is you're doing now, it'd be great to understand your journey and the lead up to working with the different brands and businesses.
Yeah. So I wasn't always in this space, even though I wanted to be a YouTuber. I actually became an accountant, interestingly enough. I think I made the decision I didn't want to go to university.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it was a very last minute decision, like maybe a month before my A-level results.
Yeah.
I literally said to my mom, I'm not going.
And what was it that, what helped you come to that decision?
Do you know what? I had been thinking about it for a long time and I just didn't say anything to anyone until I was sure. But I just didn't understand, for me personally, I didn't understand spending all this time learning about a particular subject that I couldn't see myself using in the future. I wasn't sure about what I wanted to do.
100%.
And so it just didn't make sense to me, even though the debt thing isn't really a big deal in the UK. In America, it's much more of a big deal, with their student debt and all that. Here it's not as much. But just overall, I couldn't get my head around this concept of I'm going to go and spend 3, 4, if I fail a year, maybe even 5, doing something, and I have no idea whether I even want to do it. So I just thought, this doesn't make sense. Let me just at least take some time out and figure out what I want to do. So in that time, I got an accountancy apprenticeship. So I started doing accounting. I was good with numbers anyway, so it was fine. So I was doing that. Really, really well. And funnily enough, every boss I've ever had when I was an accountant asked me why I became an accountant. Yeah. They never understood it. And I don't know if you've ever been in an accountancy firm, if you've ever been in a room. and no disrespect to, if you're an accountant, I'm sorry. Okay? No disrespect to accounting people, but I met some really dead individuals.
Yeah.
They're like soulless,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
at the computer, zero life. Like life is just going.
Just risk averse.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Don't want to get nothing.
Yeah. It was just like, it just wasn't me. And I think my bosses knew that.
Yeah.
I just didn't quite get it yet. And so eventually I worked at one place and they had a marketing role available as well. So I was doing the accounting role and I was doing it well. I was doing it well enough that I took the marketing role as well.
Okay, wow.
So I was doing both at the same time.
Yeah.
And basically what I ended up doing is training my accounting replacement and just switching fully into the marketing.
Okay.
Their marketing started to get better and better and better.
Yeah.
It's like maybe my childhood dreams started to come alive a bit. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm helping somebody on YouTube. I'm helping somebody do stuff. So I guess I just started to fall in love with it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the seed of things started. But then eventually I was making enough from that job. I went part-time doing that marketing role and I started doing TikToks.
Okay.
So I was like, what am I going to do with these days a week that I have free? So I started making TikToks.
What were they about?
So I think at that point I was probably about 8 or 9 years a Christian, and I had seen a lot of funny anybody's grown up in church, you've seen, especially if it's a Pentecostal church, you've seen people dropping, you've seen people screaming, you've seen people shouting, you've seen a whole bunch of different stuff. So I used to make jokes about it, basically. Essentially, I used to make jokes about it.
Okay.
And I guess a lot of people resonated because in 6 months I had 100,000 followers.
Wow.
And for me, it was like those childhood dreams, I guess, starting to come alive again. Like, wow, maybe I'm good at this. Maybe this is something I should be doing. And from there, my wife, who was actually my girlfriend at the time, weren't even engaged, I don't think. She had a connection to Tortilla, the Mexican grill restaurant.
Yeah, I know.
And they needed help with their TikTok. And so I've obviously just grown mine dramatically. They've got like no followers. They don't know what to do. So they called me in. And that was my first corporate client. And they paid me for it. And it was great. And it felt good. And it felt like, wow, I could do this. You know, I didn't know I could do this for a living. I didn't know I could get paid well from this. And that's kind of where everything just started.
So after you get that client, the marketing role that you're doing part-time, you leave that behind and you're like,
I did both at the same time.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, so what I would do is I would go into a tortilla restaurant. I'll put on a tortilla outfit, hat, clothes, everything. And I would film maybe like 5 to 10 TikToks at a time so that I knew I could cover about a week. And I'll do that in one day. So I'd work the marketing role. One of the days I'm off, I'd go to Tortilla, do all the content, and then just edit it, schedule it, post it, all the other days.
Okay, so you edited yourself?
Yeah.
I've got so many questions. Like, oh my God, we just started. I love it. So first things first, like, you built up 100,000 followers in 6 months, which is mental. Yeah. We've been going for longer than 6 months. And oh my God, we got about 0.2% of that. But that's neither here nor there. Does followers translate into money? Because I think people, like, they assume, oh my God, you got so many followers, you're famous, you're this, you're that. Like, what actually happens as a result of having all of these followers?
Good question. So I always say not all followers are created equal. That's what I say.
I hear that.
So it depends. One of the things I tell people, which is why most people aren't actually making money from their brand, is because they're not very targeted with what they're putting out. They're just putting out anything. They haven't actually thought about the individual that they're looking for. So we'll say making an avatar, for example, that's what we'll call it, where you basically, I don't know if you've ever been to Build-A-Bear, or if you've ever seen Build-A-Bear. It's literally this place where children go and they make a bear. Okay. They pick the color, they pick what the eyes are, they pick every part of the bear.
It's a bit like creating your pro clubs player.
Right. You literally make it to your criteria, right? Yeah. And I don't think people do that when it comes to their brand. Yeah. Who is the individual you want to reach? Is it the 25-year-old black male who lives in Hackney, for example? If that is the individual you want to reach, then how do they talk? What do they look like? What are they interested in? What are they experiencing? What are their current problems? And you tailor everything towards that individual. That significantly increases the percentage of them that you attract, right? Yeah. When you attract them, if that's the audience you want to give you money, becomes much more likely you're going to get money from them.
Yeah.
The problem is people don't do that.
Yeah.
They'll speak like a white male and expect to attract a black male, for example.
Yeah.
They don't think about what they're putting out enough to actually target the audience that they're trying to reach.
I love it. Can you have more than one avatar that you're targeting?
Absolutely. And there's overlap with everything. You know, the 80-year-old white male has some overlap between the 20-year-old black male.
Okay.
You find the overlap.
Yeah.
These two demographics may fit what you're trying to do. Find the overlap, right? Where's the connection? And it may be that one group maybe wants to be a better father, and one group needs a father, right? You find a connection, whatever that overlap might be.
I love it. And like the other question I had, because I've had like a content creator on previously, you mentioned the fact that you went from 0 to 100,000. Was it, I mean, it can't be that steady, right? But I suppose my question is, was it a few posts that got all of your followers, or was it like you post every day and every day you got 500 followers here, 300 followers there?
So things always grow exponentially if you're doing the right thing. Okay. So what I mean by that is you may start posting, get a couple hundred views, and then one of your videos gets 1,000. Then all of a sudden it's like, okay, why did that get 1,000 when these got 200? Yeah. If you're smart about it, you'll investigate and find out why this thing got 1,000, and you'll double down on what that is.
Okay, I'm about to get my counseling session, my consulting session right now. How would you go about investigating a video? Because if we take this podcast as an example, like I had some clips a while back that they got like 10,000 views, and then 20,000 views, and then 30,000 views. I'm like, I'm on the way, and then 200, 300, 70. Like, I thought I knew, and I tried to post similar things, but it would be great to understand how you go about analyzing the content to understand.
So trending topics, it's important to recognize whether you're getting views because of a trend or because of something you're actually doing within the content itself. So there's things that are what we call evergreen, meaning that they're always like a tree, the leaves are always green. Yeah, that's evergreen. Yeah. Whereas there's trending, which is like, sometimes it's summer, sometimes it's winter. It's getting views. If Messi's popular right now and you made a video about Messi, then your video about Messi is going to get more views because Messi's popular right now. If Messi just goes through something and no one wants to hear about Messi, you're not going to get views on that video anymore. So that's the difference between the trending and the evergreen. So when it comes to the things that we call evergreen, this is topics that are never going to go away. Or like, for example, babies are always cute. Yeah. There's never been a time in history where somebody hasn't found a baby cute. This is true. So videos with babies can go viral repeatedly all the time because it's an evergreen topic. Whereas there's other things that are not like that. So that's the first thing I take into consideration is what was the topic, what was I speaking about? Second thing is how good was the first 5 to 10, maybe 15 seconds of that piece of content? What was I saying? How engaging was it? I try to analyze that part because if you get that wrong, you've got the whole thing wrong. People on social media specifically, they don't have an attention span for more than 10 seconds, really. Not even more than 5 seconds. Yeah. So if you get that 5 to 10 seconds wrong, the whole thing is wrong. You can spend an hour editing something, think it's amazing. And then if you actually check your analytics, you'll see that 3 seconds in, there's a huge drop.
Oh, it's depressing. If you see the analytics.
Yeah, because something happened in those first 5 seconds that meant that people didn't want to see anymore. Yeah. And that's the game. If you can master that. I got a DM the other day. It was about 3 or 4 days ago. I did in July, I did a 3-day social media training. People paid, I think they paid £47 for the standard ticket and the VIP was £97, right? And one of the people DM'd me a few days ago now. She said, just to let you know, I was on the program and I was at 7,000 followers and now I'm at 34,000 followers. Wow. And I have made £10,000 since then. You should have charged me more. Yeah. That's what she said. And it's because she took only one of the principles I mentioned, which was how to have a really good hook, which is the first 5 seconds.
Yeah.
She used that information, and I went through her page. That's how I know.
Yeah.
She made incredible hooks.
Okay.
She captured people's attention. Her following skyrocketed. The hook is the most important part.
So I love this. And just continuing my consulting session. Thank you for giving away
No worries.
these keys. Okay, the hook is the most important part. 2 questions I have. One, if you're doing like an interview, you got like an interview-based channel. How do you go about inserting hooks if it's just clips from the conversation? And is it wrong to just post clips from the conversation?
No. I actually used to have a podcast. Myself and my wife had a podcast. Believe it or not, I was editing 14 clips per week.
Oh my goodness.
So to 2 clips a day, weekly episodes. And we ran that podcast for about 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
I actually checked earlier today. I haven't posted on the podcast page for a year. It's got just under 15,000 followers on TikTok.
Wow.
Because I posted so much content. But you have to have really good editors, okay? Because there's a way you make podcast clips. This is my remit. So for example, I just said there's a way you make podcast clips.
Yeah.
Right?
There should be a zoom on that.
The editor will capture that moment and start it there. There's a way you make podcast clips.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, anybody who's watching who wants to make a good podcast clip is like, what's he gonna say next, right? So there's a certain way they have to be edited so that the hook can be specific. Obviously, I'm just speaking to you, right? But I said something about someone who's gone from 7,000 to 34,000 or made £10,000. These things are buzzwords to people in the social media world. They want to know how they can do the same thing, right? So you take the bits of information that are good, you cut out the bits that aren't, especially when you have multiple camera angles.
Yeah.
It means you can manipulate the clip. So if there's a pause on the podcast, there doesn't have to be a pause on the clip.
Yeah. You can just go
speed
straight
it up. You can change it. You can take a minute of information and you can cut out 30 seconds if the narrative is better.
Yeah.
It's all about the post-production.
Oh my God.
Honestly, it's a whole world in itself.
What have I been paying my editors? No, I'm joking. I love you.
It's a whole world in itself.
So with that, like, it sounds like you're a great editor, right? If I do say so, like, you don't have to, you could be humble.
Well,
like, I was saying, how is it you went about learning how to edit? Because like you said, you're an accountant and then you started marketing. Like, how is it you went about building the skills?
Do you know what? Editing, this is the thing I try and teach editors, right? Because whenever I work with companies, they have the editing team. They want to do well on social media. And they just think, oh, I just need a fancy edit. Let me add some lights or some animations or some cutaways. No, you need to train your eye.
Yeah.
You need to be able to actually see good clips.
Yeah.
That takes a long time. And you need to know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
This is what I do in my free time, yeah? You'll think I'm a nerd, right?
I love it though.
When I see someone who's got a viral video, I don't even have to care about what they're viral about. They could be going viral for fishing, and I'm never going to fish in my life. Maybe once or twice. I don't even need to care about the topic. If the video has views and it's getting traction, I will click on their page and I will scroll through every single video.
Wow.
Sometimes going years back to try to understand how they've got to where they are.
Yeah.
I do that pretty much every single day.
Okay, so you're that.
So my eyes, I don't need to think about whether something's going to get views. My eyes are trained to see what will get views. And so every editor who's a social media creator, like, you're not just there to cut some stuff. And that's been actually my issue sometimes when I'm working with some companies, because they'll pay editors overseas specifically because they can pay less.
Yeah.
And they'll forget about the quality. They'll forget about the art. For them, it's just, let's just get some stuff out.
Yeah,
There's
of
an
course.
art form.
Yeah.
You need people who are actually spending time watching good content, training their eyes. Like, if you want to make good content on TikTok, do you spend time on TikTok?
I don't.
Do you know what I mean? If you want to make good content on Instagram, do you spend time on Instagram? Like, this is the reality. I used to spend an hour a day just scrolling because of my job, not even for fun, not even to laugh.
Yeah.
Just for work.
To assimilate. To
to understand what sounds are trending right now. What are the trends going on? Who are the individuals that people are resonating with? Why are they resonating? What are the comments people are leaving that is making this video gain more traction? Like, everything comes together. When I worked for Tortilla, for example, I brought someone in and I pretended I made them like a guest, so to think. And I said, I'll get you free food. You just have to do what I say in the videos.
Wow.
Right? So I got them a burrito, and then they picked it up and ate it from the middle. You don't eat burritos from the middle.
Yeah,
you eat them from the end.
Yeah.
But they picked it up and ate it from the middle. I know that the comment section is going to start talking about it.
Yeah.
And that comment section, every comment is going to add to the views.
Yeah.
It's going to add to the engagement. So I said to my friends, I put it in a group chat. You know, all us guys, we have group chats. I said, guys, listen, just put some hate comments on this video.
Okay.
I said, just hate on this video. She's eating the burrito from the middle. It doesn't make any sense. Just hate on it for me. Start the hate train. So they started the hate train. What's this girl doing? Da, 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 da. They started the hate train. Everybody else jumped in. Video's got hundreds of thousands of views.
I love it. And you've actually gone and answered a question that I was going to ask in a little bit of detail there, which was, you go into Tortilla, right? They've taken a chance on you. Like, how is it you knew, okay, I can transform their marketing? Like, how is it you had so much confidence, but the confidence has come from the daily research?
I spent hours.
Yeah.
Like, ungodly hours. Like, I can't even, I wish I could explain this to people. I've spent a ridiculous amount of hours. Like, I don't watch content to laugh anymore.
Yeah.
I watch content for science. Like, if I laugh, I'm happy to laugh, but like, my brain naturally sees the behind the scenes. It's like wired.
Yeah.
I've just spent so much time. It's like, you know, like,
you've lost your mind to the game, as
right.
Conor McGregor would say.
Yeah. I'm really trying to do my 10,000 hours.
Bro, I mean, as I listen to you, and I think about this podcast, there's always another level to the game. Like, you think that you're operating at like an 8 out of 10, a 10 out of 10, but you've just shown the 12 out of 10. And I think there's a phrase that I've been told in the past, like, if it was easy, everyone would do it. And it's like, if you actually want to bang as a content creator, you actually just have to put in these hours. Because I've been told many times I need to watch TikTok, but every time I get on there, I'm just like, I can't do it almost. Or like, I don't even have the attention span to scroll for an hour. Like, I want to go and do something else. But it's like, if you really want this to bang, you have to put in that work. Yeah. Another question I had though, and you give me your thoughts on this. I've had people on the podcast before, and it's like, not all great content bangs. And then, like, also, so I had a clip on LinkedIn. It was like a teaser. Mm-hmm. And on my profile, it got 1,000 impressions. Mm-hmm. The same clip was posted on my guest profile. Shout out Jonathan. Got 1 million impressions. Why does that happen? Same piece of content. Is it just because he's got like more followers, so it can like Partly. Do the accelerator? Partly, like, what is it I did wrong? Maybe his post as well.
LinkedIn, right? Even though I don't use it the most, it's actually my favorite platform, because LinkedIn, people don't realize LinkedIn is the most viral social media platform.
Is it?
The reason why is because
the reason why. Let's get.
You see what I mean?
Come on,
that's what the editors need to be cutting, right? The reason why is because any interaction people make with your content puts it on their feed, so anybody connected to them now sees it. So, for example, if I like your Instagram post, it does not put it on my friend's feed.
Yeah.
If I like your LinkedIn post, it puts it on my friend's feed. That means it's the most viral platform there is. If you like someone's TikTok, it does not put it on your friend's feed.
Yeah, it's true.
If you like on Instagram, no other platform is like that. Only LinkedIn. So every engagement, every comment, every like makes all of that person's community see what the post is. There's no platform like that. And so you can get 100 likes, for example, on LinkedIn, and it'd be worth 100,000 people. Whereas you can get the same on Instagram. It's not worth the same.
100%.
So the reason why Jonathan probably got so much more is because every like for him,
and he did
10,000 more views,
yeah, he
20,000 more views. Yeah.
Yeah.
It-
I got none. I got like 10.
Because I know he's got good followers.
Yeah.
So the numbers it grows exponentially on LinkedIn because every like could be 10,000 people.
But then, so I get that. And I suppose the reason I'm like calling it out is because coming back to what you're saying about like the quality of the video, sometimes you don't get the signals that you've made a good video. Maybe like I didn't get the signal, but he got the signal. So it's like, how is it that how do you know if you're on the right track or not sometimes because you're not always getting fed the right signals?
So you have to evaluate based on the averages on your page. So if the average on your page is 2 likes and you get 10, this is a good video.
Okay.
Right? And if you gain 1,000 followers, post that exact same video in 6 months' time. And see how it does. People think that because you post something once, you can't use it again. It's just not true.
Okay.
There are things I've posted on Instagram, on TikTok multiple times, and they've gone viral every single time. And the more my audience grows, the more they go viral.
Really?
Because if they work, we should assume that they work again, right?
Yeah.
Unless they're about a specific trending topic. Like if you make a Christmas video, don't try posting it at Easter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if it worked before and it wasn't specific to a trend, you should expect it to work again.
And sorry to jump in. I'm just too excited like talking to you. And like you spoke about like getting the hate train started.
Yeah. The hate train.
What is it about negativity and virality? Because the posts on this podcast which have gone viral, it's been negativity. And it's like, I'm talking about people commenting on people's appearance. Like, we're trying to give out career knowledge. Like, we're trying to give out wisdom. And people are just like, look at your face. Like, and I'm like, so what is it about like the hate train? And so you're saying we should lean into that and aim for the hate train?
So it depends how much mental fortitude you have. That's the honest truth. If you can handle it. Okay, there's a post I did recently, right? It was getting hate on Instagram. Now I had to determine how much hate I could take before it started to affect me.
Yeah.
So this thing was gaining about 10,000 views a day. So
that's crazy.
I left it for about 15 days and then it got too much. Then I hid it. Because in that 15 days, I gained a bunch of new followers. A bunch of new people found my profile. I got to connect with a whole bunch of new people. So I endured the hate for that long in order to connect with those people. But then it got to that point where I was like, this is enough now. Okay. So I just archived the video and I continued with my life. So you have to kind of figure out in yourself, how much hate can you take? That's really the question. Because if you want to get a lot of views, if you want to be opinionated online and actually try and help people, even if you think you're doing a good thing, there's always somebody who doesn't think you're doing a good thing.
100%.
They're always opposed to what you're doing. You could be feeding children. I saw Mr. Beast feeding children in Africa.
Yeah.
And I saw people say, why is he doing it? He's white.
Oh my God. Yeah. You can't win.
He's white. He can't be feeding children in Africa.
Yeah. I've seen it.
So what should he do? Should he leave them? This is the question.
Yeah.
Right? So you can't win. That's the moral of the story. And so you just have to determine how much hate can you take.
Okay. Love it. And then you mentioned the fact that, like you were getting all of those views every day and it was translating into followers.
Yes.
How is it that you convert? How does good content typically convert or translate into followers? Because I don't understand that side. My followers are peak at the moment.
Yeah. So
do you have like a call to action or no?
Call to actions help a lot. That was actually the thing that I used to get to 100,000 followers really fast. So first, I made content that was community based. So I actually intentionally did things for comments. I wanted it to be a really thriving comment section so people could connect there. People would, whether it was good or bad, I wanted them to have something to say. Mm-hmm. That was the main thing. So I made content that would resonate with people a lot. Like I was telling you, loads of people have had church experiences, you know what I mean? And funny enough, I've actually had people who've had better results than me now, clients, which is crazy. Like over 100,000 in 6 months, which is insane. But make stuff that resonates with the community you're trying to reach, get them talking, get them speaking, and then always have a good call to action at the end. So even if you don't have something you're trying to push them towards, like an email list or a product, just tell them to follow. Mm-hmm. Just tell them to like. Because the chances are, if they've got all the way to the end of that video, they like you. Yeah. Because most of the time people will just swipe right? So if they're actually at the end and they sat there for a minute, they probably kind of like you. And so if you say, hey, just like the video or follow me for more, they'll probably do it.
Okay. I love it. And then my final thing on this section before we move on, is there like a psychology that, like you said, it goes up exponentially? Like when you break the 1,000, when you break the 10,000, people are more likely to follow you because, 10,000 other people already follow them. So let me just hit that follow. So it's you really have to put in the work for the first 1,000, for the first 10,000, because after that, it kind of takes care of itself because you're kind of already certified by the number.
That is definitely true. If people see, for example, if they see a video with thousands of likes, even if they didn't want to pay attention, they'll give it a few more seconds because they'll be thinking, if everybody else liked this video, I will probably like it too, subconsciously. So they'll give it a bit more time. Whereas a video with 5 likes, they'll swipe a lot faster. Yeah. So there is something about your previous success that makes the future success easier. That is definitely a thing. And also, if you have a viral video, the next video that you post is very, very important, because when people, let's say you post daily, right? So you've posted today, that video is going viral. Now, that video is still going to be going viral tomorrow. So the new video you post the next day, all the new people who come into your profile, that new video is the first video they're going to see, right? After they actually check out your profile. So if that video is bad, they'll say, it was just a one-time good video. If that video is good, they're way more likely to follow you. So that second video is actually very, very important.
Yeah.
But people don't think about that.
Yeah.
Because think about it, right? I'm scrolling. I'm on my For You page or whatever. I'm scrolling. I come across you. See this video. This video is amazing. Wow. I'm going to click your profile because I like the video. I'm going to see what else is there. I'm going to check the most recent thing you have. If the most recent thing you have is not good, then it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. If it's good, I'll follow you.
But I suppose that's what helps with the pinned as well, right? Because you can pin like some of your top performing. So.
Well, I skip pins personally, but I'm a bit different.
Okay. You don't enjoy it.
I'm a bit different. I'm a bit different. I skip pins. But
and just on this, I feel, by the way, to anybody who is becoming is looking to become a content creator and is gonna start implementing, some of the strategies that have been mentioned, please let us know how you do, right? Because people never comment on these videos. So if you got to this point in the podcast, make sure you let us know, bro, because the gems are crazy. You mentioned the fact that like if you have a viral video, you'll still be getting notification the next day. I've heard that it's the first hour which is like the most vital. Is that true?
No.
So that's like just a myth.
So I've seen, like I said, there was a video I had that was getting 10,000 views a day, for example, because it was more evergreen. It was a concept that people were speaking about. It doesn't matter the day. There are some times, yes, where that first hour, if you get a whole bunch of people liking that in the first hour, it just sends stuff. And then there are other times where it makes no difference. I've seen videos 6 months later, algorithm decides to pick them up and they just start getting views.
Yeah, that happened to my brother. Like 500,000 views out of nowhere. It had 40,000, then it shot up to like 900k.
So yes, it matters. Does it always matter? No.
Do hashtags and stuff matter?
Depends what platform. Instagram, no. They're like 0. Okay. TikTok, maybe a little bit. But the thing with these algorithms now is they're smarter than they used to be. So they actually listen to your video. So like we're talking now, if you post a clip online, these algorithms will listen to every word in these clips. Wow. And they will actually put this video in categories based on the words I've said. So if I say social media marketing, they will find social media marketing and they will put it in that space inside the algorithm. So I don't need to hashtag that because it already knows that's what this video is about.
Wow.
So that's why hashtags are becoming less effective.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't need to try and get cute with the hashtag and this, that, and the other.
It's not that deep anymore.
FYP for you.
Nah, it's not as deep now.
Okay. My mind is just like, my mind has actually been blown and there's so much I want to implement. But like coming back to, your work, like you sound like a specialist. You get your first client with Tortilla. Like, where do you actually take them from? Like, how do you grow their account base by 500%, 600%, 700%?
I mean, they had like...
What was success for them?
They had like 100 followers.
Oh,
it was like start from scratch.
Grassroots.
Yeah. It was the beginning. And I think when I left them, they had about 12,000.
Okay, well.
Yeah, so it was, and I was only with them for 2 or 3 months doing that project. So.
And when you like get a new client,
Mm-hmm.
what is like your typical process? Like, how is it? You're like, okay, this is where you're at. This is where we want to get to. Yeah, talk me through your strategy. With clients.
Yeah. So the first thing is this client already good at creating content? Or do I need to teach them that? Because some people have a natural kind of, I don't know how, I don't know where they get it from, but maybe their visuals are really good. For some reason, they just pick really good camera angles. Some people, they just naturally start their sentences in a really interesting way. So I don't need to teach them too much there.
Yeah.
They just have certain things down. If they're a client like that, it's a very different side of things where I actually just have to show them what they're doing. And so that it's not by accident anymore. It actually becomes a skill that I teach them to actually harness and double down on. For example, I had a client who, when I started working with them, I think they were at 12,000 followers and they just hit 50,000. And I started working with them, I think 3 or 4 months ago. But basically, their camera angles were great. So the content side of things was good. They were already growing at a decent rate.
Yeah.
But they needed help with messaging. So they're a health and wholeness coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I told them, hey, why don't you focus on low iron? Because low iron is a very trending topic right now. How often do you hear people say, oh, I think I have low iron? So why don't you deal with the low iron conversation?
Yeah.
As soon as they started putting low iron in their messaging, followers
really
flying.
I'm going to put you on the spot. So this podcast,
Right.
It's a podcast aimed at inspiring people to take action.
Right.
I know you've not looked at it, right? So like, well, maybe you have looked at it, but
I looked at some clips.
Okay. If you were to give me a piece of advice, right? Because I think I've got 500 followers on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 148 followers on TikTok. Make sure you follow. Like, what is an immediate action I could take to hopefully start seeing an exponential increase?
Do you actually want to know?
Yeah. Give me the real. Yeah.
You sure?
I can take it. I can take
sure,
it.
100%.
Yeah.
If you post 2 clips a day, every single day, in a year's time, your podcast will be gone.
Wow.
I can almost guarantee you that. The reason why is because, like I said, there's certain things that happen when you train your eye. If you make enough content yourself or with your team, you'll be able to see yourself if this content is going to do well, because you have made so many.
Yeah.
You'll know. So your brain will just start saying, okay, by the like 2nd or 3rd month, you'll be like, okay, this is going to work, this is going to work, this clip will work, that clip will work, this clip won't work, this is too short, this is too long, this is a waste of time, we can cut this part out. Like, you'll know exactly what you're doing.
Okay, so you're giving me the Mr. Beast advice. Make 100 videos before you ask me for advice. I hear it.
You won't need to ask.
If I post twice a day,
Yes.
does it matter the time of day when I post?
Nah.
Just 14 clips a week.
Yeah.
Do the clips have to vary for platform? Or can I just repurpose?
You can use the same ones, yeah. You can use the same ones.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's a madness, bro.
I'm telling you because that's what I did.
Yeah.
So right now, I've just started yesterday. I've given myself a new challenge, right? So I don't know if you've seen these kids. They'll be like 15, 16, and they're doing these TikTok clip pages. Have you ever seen it? So they take an influencer, maybe like a streamer, like Speed.
Yeah, I know
Speed.
Speed.
They'll take all his clips. They'll post clips of him every day on a TikTok account, and they'll be getting like £10,000 a month.
Really?
Yep. And so I've set myself a challenge yesterday to take an influencer that I like, not like Speed or something like that, like more in the business side, content that I actually watch a lot of, and see if I can make a clip page for them and see how much money I can generate. And so, based on the videos I've watched, it's advised that you post 5 times a day.
Why?
Because it's clips, right? It's clips of these influencers. And the idea is that if you post 5 times a day, in a month, that's what is that? 150 videos. And so with 150 videos and an influencer in the video, what is the likelihood that you're not going to get viral videos? It should be very slim, right? And so with that in mind, you have 150 opportunities to go viral.
Yeah.
And those 150 opportunities bring you money. And the more viral you go, the more followers the page gets, the bigger the page gets, the more viral it goes the next time. Just snowballs. And then you make, they literally make, I've seen loads of them. They make like £10,000 a month.
Okay.
Then they start making another page. And some of them have like 10 pages. And they pay people to just post on the pages. And they have this whole business. And they make a whole bunch of money. So I'm going to try it now.
How long is that going to... So if you're editing 5 clips a day, how long is it going to take you to edit each clip?
So because it's not your own personal content, it's an influencer, you can literally just go on YouTube and screen record on your phone.
Yeah.
You screen record something great that they've already done. You add a couple things here, maybe go on CapCut and put auto captions on it or whatever. Maybe some music in the background.
Bish bash bosh.
Yep.
And what's your goal? So you said you set yourself a challenge. What's the challenge? 10K a month?
The challenge...
Or is it just the 5 videos a day?
Well, first I need to get to 10,000 followers on the page, because then I can join the TikTok creator proper program, where if you do videos over a minute, you actually get some good money for them. Plus, this person has an affiliate program, this actual influencer. So my goal is this. My goal is to take their affiliate program plus the TikTok money, put it together, and see how much money I can make.
Okay.
By the end of the year.
All right. And my accountability fee for keeping you accountable, we just need a little 1%, you know. That ain't crazy. That ain't crazy. No, bro, this is sick. I'm gonna keep track, bro. I'm gonna be asking you offline, bro. I want to see how you do. But I already know you're gonna smash it, because I'm just here talking to you. I'm talking to the Oracle. I feel like I'm in the Matrix.
No, do you know what? It's moments like this I realize I've given my life to content a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and on that, there's still so much more for us to talk about, but for anybody who's gotten to this point and they're looking for like an immediate action to begin creating content and posting content, like what would your key piece of advice be to them?
The immediate action, I'll tell you what helped me. Find a place where no one knows you, because then you don't have the fear of ridicule. One of the hardest things I had to deal with was like, if I go and make a fool of myself on TikTok and somebody finds me, what are they gonna say?
Yeah.
What if one of my friends sees like me doing something dumb on TikTok? And I kid you not, like I think it was the second video I made on TikTok, right? Bear in mind, second video probably has like 10 or 15 views.
Yeah.
This guy, I don't even know, comments on the video, he said, never post another video ever again.
Oh my God. The hate train.
Bear in mind, I've got no views. Like, where did this guy come from?
Yeah.
And then to have this vim to actually even comment this, I was thinking, like, do you know me from somewhere? Did I do something to you? I don't know this guy.
You know the 50 Cent video? Fuck me. What you say fuck me for? Sorry, beep that out.
But yeah, it's like, so I was thinking, wow, second video and I've got a hater. This is crazy. But because it was in a place where nobody I knew could actually find me, I was just like, do you know what? I don't know who this hater is. I'm just going to keep going anyway. Yeah. And then eventually, funnily enough, my friends started messaging me because my videos would get sent in WhatsApp group chats. Oh, wow. So you know, like the African aunties who send links and all that, they were sending me.
Wow.
So my friends would start messaging me like, you're in the group chat.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know you made TikToks. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. That's when I realized I couldn't hide anymore. And so I just continued. And
then and when you're getting those messages, like you're in the group chat, is it just a case like you own it, you keep it moving, you're like, yeah, this is me now?
Yeah. By that point, I had like maybe 40, 50,000 followers. So, and this was COVID times. So there wasn't, like, to have 50,000 followers on TikTok around that time, you were like doing something. Yeah. Really, really doing something. So people kind of respected it. Even though they're like, whoa, I didn't know this is what you were on. They kind of respected it because it wasn't like I had 5 followers. I had like good thousands. And so the advice I would give to people is find a place where anybody who you have fear of their opinion, just cut them out. Like whether you make a new Instagram account and don't tell anyone, whether you go on a platform you don't normally use, whatever it is, go somewhere and just start there. Because if you do that, you'll at least get more confident about posting online. Because the issue I find with people who want to be content creators and want to do all these things is that their friends kind of don't like them. I don't want to sound bad, because obviously some people have very supportive friends, but when you try and do something that's different, it's often the people who say that they love you are the ones that are actually preventing you from doing it.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you try and change, they're like, why do you think you're brand new all of a sudden?
Yeah.
And then they make you want to stay in the same mode that you were in. And so that's what I did. I separated myself from the group, from the pack in a sense, and just focused on putting this content out.
Yeah.
And then once it was working and I was getting, booking from Tortilla and all of that, then I said, guys, come, let's do hate trade. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
And then they jumped on.
Yeah. All I did was, I remember in the group chat, I showed them a screenshot when I had like 2 followers, and I said, I'm just going to keep updating you guys. I didn't send them videos. Every month or 2 months, I'll just send them another screenshot to show what the number is.
Yeah.
So they could see my progress, but I didn't show them any content.
Brother, I love it. And on that, like with all of the views that you've got, which is like millions and millions and, millions of likes, is it all organic? And like, what is your view on, because you've obviously worked with brands, right? Mm-hmm. What is your view on organic versus paid? Like, what does paid actually do to content?
Yeah, so mine is all organic, but there's nothing wrong with paid. So basically, I always say, if it's not going to work organically,
it's not going to work with
it's
paid.
not going to work with paid.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Some people don't agree with me, and they just end up spending thousands of pounds, and good for them.
Yeah.
But, the idea is that you make something so good organically and then just put some money behind it. That's a good idea.
That's the recipe.
Like, that makes sense, doesn't it? If people already organically like this, if I pay for it to reach more people, logically, the people should like it. Like, that makes sense. And so that's what I advise my clients to do. I tell them, if you can't make a good organic video, don't spend extra money on a paid ad. Like, let's just be real. Spend your money learning how to make good organic videos. Once you master that, not even master, once you get good at that and you're having some success, go and do some paid ads, maybe reach a different country that you're not currently reaching, do what you have to do. But if you can't do good organic,
what's the point? I hear it. My mind is just blown from this conversation, bro. Like, coming back to like the work you do with clients and strategy, right? So you mentioned the fact that you highlight whether they create good content already, whether they're using good angles, and then so once you've done that, talk us through like the rest of the process and your approach to working with clients.
So my first strategy call, usually especially when I'm helping entrepreneurs or people who are trying to build some type of personal brand, my first strategy call, we'll just sit on the call for an hour and I'll just ask questions. I actually did this to your brother.
Yeah. How is it?
I actually did this to your brother.
6.
Funnily enough, yeah. I'll just sit and I'll learn about your life, because what you don't realize is that it's a personal brand. So it's personal.
Yeah.
And so as much as you want to make money and you want to talk about your business, there are personal elements that make people connect with you. So I have to understand, what is it about you that people connect with?
Yeah.
That's what I try and find. Is it your family story? Is it the way you love your wife? Is it the way you love your kids? Is it the way you are a great leader? What is it about you? What makes you unique? What's special? What stories can we tell?
Mm-hmm.
So I spend that first hour, that first strategy call, asking questions, trying to dig down into the lives of the individuals. What have you experienced? What have you overcome? What challenges have you faced? Mm-hmm. Where were you 10 years ago versus now? What's your biggest accomplishment? How do you find married life versus parent life? Or are both your parents alive? If one of them's passed away, what was that like?
Yeah.
How did that affect you as a business person or as a leader or as a friend? These are the things I try and find out, because when you're building a personal brand, it's those sides, the vulnerability aspect of it, the personal side of it, that actually makes it work.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time people focus on just trying to be some perfect success. Doesn't work. I guarantee you right now, you go on LinkedIn, You do a post about authenticity. You do a post about resting. You do a post about taking a break from the busy corporate life. Watch how many likes you get. Because people on LinkedIn, they're so used to the hustle, bustle, professionalism. They want somebody to come and say, chill.
Wow.
They actually want somebody to come and just say, relax, take a day off, mental health.
Yeah.
You know, they actually want to hear it.
So I agree with you, but you just used the word there, authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll be writing out something that I'm going to post and I'm like, this doesn't feel authentic. So it's like, sometimes I want to share more of my personal story, but I just don't feel like it's interesting enough. How do I overcome that barrier? And how could the listener as well, not just me, right? Because I'm sure there are people who are like, what I want to post isn't interesting, or like you're on LinkedIn and you see all these posts that slap, and like they resonate, and you're like, mine ain't gonna slap like that. Like, why would they like engage with my content?
Yeah, so we gotta define interesting. Storytelling is a big part of social media, huge part, one of the biggest parts. The other day I did a post that was about the fact that I'm spending a lot more time in Dubai. And so I miss chicken shops. I miss London chicken shops. You can't get that. Like, that was a very simple concept, very simple post. I dressed it up nicely. And I had loads of people in the comments telling me what they miss. Someone said, oh, I've been in Dubai for a while. I miss TFL sometimes. I miss hearing that woman say, mind the gap between the train and the platform. Like, people are just commenting all this interesting stuff. One person said, oh, I miss the countryside. I miss this. I miss that. I just dressed up the fact that sometimes I want to get some fried chicken. I want to get some wings and chips or 2 for 2 or whatever you get.
Yeah.
I just dressed it up nicely and people resonated with it. You can turn anything into something that's a good story. You can make anything interesting. It's all about the how. Yeah. Right? And so your story probably is interesting. It's probably just...
I know it is, man.
It's probably just you don't know how to say it in an interesting way. Yeah. Right? And so when I'm with clients, that's part of my job. I'm over their shoulder, kind of like that voice over your shoulder saying, say it like this rather than like this. Let's make this the headline rather than this, you know, let's put this part in. Maybe get a picture of you here that could accompany this, make it a bit more flashy, nice, you know? And then after we do that 10, 15 times, they're like, okay, I get this now. I understand. And then they just continue.
Okay. So like on that, like, there's 2 things I want to say before I forget them. So the first one is, when you work with clients, typically, like, what's the cycle? Because you've mentioned there, they do it 10, 15 times. And then, so do you work with clients on like a 2 to 3 month period, 6 month period? Yeah, it just varies. Like, when do you like feel like you've Obi-Wan them and they can go and do their thing?
So I like 3 months.
Okay.
I like 3 months. Some people need 6. But I like 3 months. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I found that in 3 months, it's a lot of time. Okay. It's a lot of time to do stuff. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I love it. And then, that brings me nicely on to, I've been through your social media and like you said, like you dropped some bombs, like you dropped some knowledge bombs. We've spoken off camera and there was one post, like there are 7 mistakes that people make that is stopping them making money through social media. Yeah. Maybe we don't need to go through all 7, but what are the key things which are stopping people making money through social media?
Yeah. Obviously, different people got different issues, but this kind of covers most of the most common ones. So one of them, for example, is you don't show up every day, so you don't get paid every day, right? So there's some people who are very inconsistent online, and then they complain that people don't think of them or they're not the first person to come to mind when somebody's in need of a service, right? And so the reason why I think about something like, I don't know, Colgate when I'm going to pick up my toothpaste is because Colgate's everywhere. So many people are using Colgate. It's in my face whether I like it or not. I think the other day I think it was a washing up liquid ad, right, with Usain Bolt on it. I don't know if you've seen that. No. And it's because they were trying to associate this washing up liquid with speed to try and say it's the fastest one. So they put Usain Bolt there, right? So I'm just walking around now. I'm seeing all these billboards or whatever. It's underground as well. So whenever I take the train, I see it. So now when I go in the shop, I'm thinking, when I see it, I'm thinking Usain Bolt. I like Usain Bolt. I'm Jamaican. I like Usain Bolt. So I'm more likely to get that one. Why? Because it's been in my face.
Yeah.
And so showing up every day is a really important part. And I don't mean necessarily, let's say we're talking LinkedIn, for example. Showing up every day on LinkedIn doesn't mean posting every day, even though you could post every day. Because if you comment, everybody who follows you is going to see that you commented. It's going to come up on their feed. So you are showing up every day, right?
Yeah.
So it's being present. It's being active. It's sharing your opinions on other people's posts as well as your own. It's being part of the community of that platform, so that when somebody is in need, they think of you. Every time I post now, without fail, I get at least one DM saying, Sterling, I saw your most recent post. I'm interested in your services. Without fail, every single post. But it's because they can scroll through my page and they can see I've been saying the same stuff.
Yeah.
I've been telling you. I either post something in regards to me and my wife doing business together, or I post something about a client's results, or I post something about me traveling or something. That's pretty much all I post.
Yeah.
And so they get the message. And so I don't know how long they've been following me for, but this recent post is the one that they decided to pull the trigger, right? Because I've been there. And so it's important that you're around. It's important that when somebody thinks of you, they know what to associate with you. You build trust with people by being present, right? The reason why people go for partners that are not even good for them is because the partner will do everything that they want to hear, or they'll say everything that they want to hear. They'll give them every gift that they want. Why? Because they're trying to win their trust. Mm. So even a wicked person understands that if I want to get this individual, I need to first win their trust. Yeah. Right? If you are good, if you have a good product, a good service, the world's not going to come to you. You need to win their trust. Mm-hmm. And so you use these platforms to do that, right? So that you can offer value to individuals. Mm-hmm. And if you are really, good at what you do, you should be happy to give some things away for free, because you're good at what you do. It doesn't hurt you, right? And so that's what you do. You give away amazing things for free. You put value out into the world. You help people, even sometimes when they're not going to pay you at all. Sometimes it might be a free webinar. Sometimes it might be a podcast. Sometimes whatever it looks like. Because at the end of the day, you are making yourself visible. My wife always says, if you're not visible, you're invisible. Mm. That's her favorite phrase right now. Yeah. And so make yourself visible. That's one of them. Another one I'll say, which is huge for creators, and it really, really upsets me, if I'm being completely honest, is that they don't understand data. They don't know their numbers. So, for example, I asked somebody today, how many meetings do you take per week? So they said they want X amount of clients per month. I said, how many meetings do you take per week then? They said, this amount. How many people actually book you from those meetings? Most of the time, people don't know. They have no track of the percentages,
the inputs that get the outputs that they're after.
They have no track. They have no understanding of their data at all. And so it's a real problem in the business world as a whole, but then in content, it's a huge problem as well.
So what I'm hearing there is you have to treat content like a sales job. Because when you're like in business development, as an example, it's like, if you do 100 calls, you're going to book 10 demos. Yep. And after 10 demos, you're going to close 2 bits of business. Yeah. You have to understand the inputs that are going to get your desired outputs.
Yep. Like my wife is a public speaker, right? We've recently been in Dubai a lot. She will intentionally post a video or a clip of her at a school in Dubai at the time when she's going back to Dubai, so that the other schools in Dubai can see that she's been to schools in Dubai and she's now in Dubai, so they will want to book her. Yeah. It's intentional. Yeah. It's specific. I told her the other day, it's been 6 months since she spoke at, I think it was Meta. She spoke at the Meta offices in Dubai earlier this year. I think it's been 6 months since she spoke there. So I said, why don't you do a post that has a picture of you in the Meta office and say, it's been 6 months since I spoke at Meta Dubai. I'm so thankful for getting this amazing opportunity. We spoke about this, and this. Just to remind people, the tech space in Dubai, that this is what you're on.
Yeah.
So that when you're in Dubai, they say, she's done Meta.
Yeah.
She's also done Google as well.
Yeah.
So what about this one? What about Facebook? What about this? Well, Facebook is Meta, but what about this? What about that? Like keep these things in people's mind, right? And so before she travels, she always does a post leading up to it to get bookings for when she lands.
Wow.
She does it all the time.
And on that, I mean, I know you're giving us the tea about the mistakes, but yeah, you've mentioned your wife there a couple of times,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing you, I know that you do business with your wife. What is that actually like, right? Because I know some people will be like, wow, that could be make or break. Do you know what I mean? But knowing you and seeing your content, I know that you and your wife, you're very loved up, and it works very well. What is your how do you view partnership in business?
Yeah, so we were actually told not to do business together so early.
By who?
Quite a few people actually, just to protect us, because just got married, like you're still learning each other, you're getting used to husband and wife life and whatever, and business can really add another level of stress to something if you don't navigate it well. Like we used to have a lot of arguments about finances early on. When I say early on, I mean like the first 6 months or so, because we're approaching 2 years now.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
Thank you. Next month. Yeah. So we learned pretty quickly that we're going to have to be a lot better when it comes to financial conversations if we want to be good at business together. And so doing business together has improved things a lot actually. Yeah. And it's actually made us get better faster because like if you don't, it's going to affect the money, right? Cool. So you have to. So we've really learned on the job. It's been really, really good.
And when you're like doing work stuff, are you speaking as man and wife, or are you speaking as colleague and colleague? And what I mean by that, is it like, baby, could you please do this? Or is it like, like please, like professional?
Yeah, it's that one. There's certain things that just need to be done. Like, for example, I am kind of like provide strategy to a lot of different personal brands. So when I'm working with my wife, for example, on her personal brand, she's the face of the brand. I'm not in control over what she does. Like, I can't force her to pick up her phone and record a video, but I can advise her and say, hey, you better get that phone up. We need to get this money. I can do the best I can, but because I'm not the face, I can't control it. Yeah, but I can do the best I can.
I love it. So to any people who are like fans of yours, and they're listening to this and they've been in a similar situation, thinking about potentially going into business with a partner, what would your advice be, and what considerations should they take before making a decision?
I think you should definitely make the roles very clear. What is this person's department? What is your department? So that you don't overstep each other's boundaries. It can be there's been a few times where we've done it to each other, and it can be very frustrating when somebody's got a task to do and somebody else just comes in and just kind of messes up what the other person's doing. It's like, no, this is my space. Like, this is my space. Yeah. I understand we're married, but this is my space. Yeah. So let me do my thing and you do your thing. And oftentimes, like, depending on how you grew up or depending on the type of person you are, people can be a bit controlling. So even though the other person's got it, like, they're handling it in their own way. And they may not be handling it in the way that you want them to handle it. So now you want to take over, but you have to be able to trust each other. Yeah. So have clear roles, departments before you even start doing all of that. And also, don't forget that you're still married. Yeah. Business can be very consuming. Remember, you're still married. Go for a walk. Yeah. Go on a date. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can forget all of that. It's very easy to.
It's facts.
It's very easy to forget all of that.
It's facts.
Yeah.
People get very comfortable on the sofa, Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and my wife now, she'll gun me for saying this, but no, we're supposed to do the A to Z of dating.
Okay.
And like we take a letter in turn.
Okay.
And that's how we keep it fresh and make sure that we have dates planned.
Okay.
But if you ask us the last time we did it, you know what I mean? But we have the intention. The intention is there, yeah.
Whose turn is it right now?
Oh my, it's me. I think we're on like K and it's me. But we have done dates like, it's weird because when you do things like that, it's like all of a sudden, like we went for dinner the other day and it's like, oh, but it's not the letter. Right. So like, I don't want to go for dinner. Like, unless it's part of the A to Z, we ain't doing it now. But no, there's a nice compromise, and we make it work. Sterling, bro, like you obviously, the consulting is like the main thing that you do, but you also do a lot of public speaking, right? So yeah, like to anybody who wants to get into public speaking, like how is it you go about getting the confidence right? Because even me, like I have a podcast like this, but I know if I was asked to speak in front of people, I'd be shaking and nervous. Like, what would your advice be to people?
Wow.
Does it just come naturally to you? Is it just
okay, so believe it or not, like a lot of my family didn't know I could speak.
Wow.
Like I was very, very quiet until maybe I was 14, 15. Very, very quiet. Like I was the last person to comment in school, not raising my hand. Not that guy. Don't ask me to read out loud. Don't ask me the answer to the question. I'm not interested. Like that's what I was on. I did not care about any of that talking stuff at all. I was very to myself. But then when I started going to church when I was like 14 or 15, about 15, and I started going to this youth group that the church had, for some reason they started volunteering me to do the things that involved speaking. I don't know why. I don't know what the motivation was because I'm pretty sure I was sitting in that room and I was not saying much. But for some reason, they were motivated to put me there. And so from doing that, I guess I kind of started to get used to it a bit. And I actually I still think I am now, I'm more confident speaking on a stage than I am in like a group of 15 or a group of 20. Like,
why?
Don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like I do one-to-ones really well. I do like small groups. When it gets to like 10, 15, that's uncharted waters for me. But when I can do like 100, 200, whatever, and it's not really a big deal. But
when you are speaking in front of 100 to 200 people, because I have done it, where are you looking, bro? Because I find like I have a train of thought, but if I see somebody and they're like zoned out or they catch my eyes, I lose my train of thought.
Is it?
Like, where is it that you're looking to?
No, I find a few safe spaces, you know, like a couple nice faces, you know, that look like they're engaged. One over there, one in the middle, one across the other side. So it looks like my eyes are going across. Yes. And I'm just looking at these specific people. So that's kind of the way
that's a great insight. Take a safe space from each part of an audience, and just, you know, transition your looks between them.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take that.
It feels like you're looking around, but I'm just looking at like these three people over and over again. But what tips would I give people? I think so. I started getting better at public speaking by force. I didn't have a choice. But the things I did intentionally was listen to public speakers. Find people who I like the way they speak. Find people that I thought was inspiring in some way and listen to them. And you'll be surprised how, like, when you start to speak after you've listened to all these things, you start to say some inspiring stuff. Yeah. And you might watch it back or hear yourself say something like, oh, I did that. I did that. Like, oh, maybe I could do this more often. And then what confirms it is the feedback sometimes you get from other people. Like, people will come up to you and be like, wow, that was really great. Like, you seemed really confident. You seem really this. And you might have felt terrified. But when you hear how the other people perceive things, it makes you realize, you know what, this wasn't that bad. And so there is definitely something about, I think in life as a whole, actually, there is something about just doing stuff and doing it bad and getting better on the job. Now I know I've heard some stories of people who like go blank their first speaking engagement and stuff like that, which it's a shame. I don't know how I don't know how you handle that. But for the average person, you can probably hold a mic and say a few sentences.
Yeah. And also, like, I also, just to add to that, if you're really worried about, like a speech, like, I think Alex Hormozy says it best, outwork your self-doubt. Like, if you're worried that I might have a mind blank, I think he like did a presentation to like 1 million people, and he practiced it every day for like 100 days.
Yeah,
I
was on that one.
And I haven't actually seen it, but I'd listened to a lot of his stuff, so I knew that he was prepping for it, and he spoke about it a lot.
His work rate
is different, isn't it?
Different, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, to the listener, if you are worried, outwork your self-doubt.
Yeah.
That's one of those things we picked up, right? Bro, one more thing, just going back to like content creation before we kind of wrap up.
How long have we been speaking? Has it been long?
Bro, it's been an hour, bro.
Really?
Bro, yeah. Time flies when you're having fun. An hour and 10, actually.
Really?
What's
I could talk so much.
What's a misconception about content creation, bro? So what's something that people think is one way, but you're like, you got it so wrong, man?
So one of the things I wanted to prove is that you could just pick up your phone, literally like this, front camera, and get hundreds of thousands of views. That was the first thing I tried to prove, because I found that people were so focused on, do I have like 4K this, and is my makeup done? Do I have my hair right? Or is the lighting perfect and all this? I would intentionally post videos with really, really bad lighting. Just me, I'm wearing my do-rag, like I'm just chilling. I'm just going like, front camera's not even as good as back camera. Because I wanted to prove that the content itself weighs more than the actual way the video looks. And I did that. And my wife has done the same thing. She's made videos literally like with a head wrap, with a front camera. The lighting's not great. Millions of views, just talking to the camera. And so one of the misconceptions I always find is that people think they have to do all this stuff to go viral. You just need to make good content, and good content is good regardless of whether it has all the bells and whistles or not. Good content is good content, right? It doesn't have to be perfect content. It has to be good content. And so, you can start right now. You can pick up your phone, and you can do something on your phone, and you could get 100,000 views right now. And there's a lot of people who don't do it just because they think they don't have whatever's necessary, but they have their phone.
To the editor, you better clip that properly. Clip it properly. No, because that's gonna bang right there. You see that? Sterling, my bro, this has been such a sick conversation. We have something called the Manifest Corner, bro. Like, where does Sterling see himself in the next 5 and 10 years? You're already working with all of these brands. Like, what projects do you want to be working on over the next 5 and 10 years?
Do you know what's really interesting, right? Will I be in content creation in 5-10 years?
Wow.
Will I? Do you know what I found, right? This, like I said, I've trained my eye to see things that work, that are going to go viral. But I've realized it doesn't just work for content. There's stocks that I've seen early that I knew were going to do well. There are even games that I knew were going to do well and become game of the year and things like that. I didn't realize when I was looking at all this stuff, I was seeing certain trends and patterns that work in a much wider space.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe I'll start investing in businesses, and I'll have a bunch of businesses. Maybe I'll find an area of, in London that I think is undervalued, and I'll start buying real estate there, and I'll become a real estate guy. I think my gift is really being able to seize things that are undervalued. And I think it's going to take me further than content creation. I know I'm going to work with some really big brands. But the business side of me is wanting to...
The itch needs to be scratched.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So even right now, I'm having a conversation with a music artist to manage them.
Because you've seen them early.
I've seen them. They're incredible. And so do you see what I'm saying? So it's like saying, this part of me just wants to explore and just try itself out in different ways. And so will I be in content creation? Always, to some degree. How I am now, we'll find out on the next episode.
I love it, Sterling, bro. This has been such a sick conversation. Like, I don't normally do this, but like, what I've loved about this conversation is the fact that, like, you didn't know what you wanted to do, you didn't go to university, but like, I can see that you're a special person, and it's like, you don't need to have it figured out at an early age to fulfill your potential. And like, this conversation has helped to highlight that, like, your talents will shine through eventually. You just need to put in the work and lose yourself to it. Don't have to lose yourself to it, but you know what I mean? Like, you just have to put in the work and follow your passions.
Yeah.
Bro, we've got a quick fire round. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Would you rather focus solely on Instagram or manage accounts across all major platforms?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Would you rather go viral once a year or have steady, consistent growth?
Steady, consistent growth.
Okay. Would you rather be an expert at organic growth or paid advertising?
Bro, organic.
Bro, no, I prepped the questions before. Would you rather work with one major brand or 10 smaller brands?
One.
Okay. Money or happiness?
Money.
Ooh.
Because I can make a lot of people happy.
Yeah, I love that.
I would probably sacrifice my happiness and make a lot of people happy. I think I would, yeah.
I like that. Would you rather be known for innovative campaigns or reliable ROI?
Innovative campaigns, yeah. Gotta have some fun.
Would you rather collaborate with micro-influencers or one major celebrity?
One. I'm really interested in working with one
Okay.
and really taking them to the moon.
Okay.
That's actually something I want to do.
Okay. Mate, if you want to start from the bottom, I'm here, you get me! No, I'm joking. Would you rather travel to the past or future?
You know, my life is very Wi-Fi dependent. I don't think going backwards is a good idea for me. So I should probably go forwards.
Okay, I love that. Who has it easier, men or women?
Men.
Yeah, that's the right answer.
Men.
And finally, dream dinner guest.
Dream dinner guest. Oh, dream dinner guest. Okay, this is going to be a very interesting answer. Is it? Can it be dead or alive?
Yeah, anyone. I know who you're going to say.
No, you don't. I guarantee you.
Okay, can I guess?
Yeah, you won't get it. It's a sentimental answer.
Oh, okay. I was going to say Jesus Christ, but
it's good. It's a good one.
Yeah,
it's a good one. But no, this is a sentimental answer. My wife's dad.
Oh wow.
Passed away when she was 3, and apparently he's a lot like me.
Okay.
I would love to have a conversation with him,
bro.
I would love to.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I never would have got that.
Yeah, you.
I would never got that. You're right.
I would love to have a conversation with him,
brother. Sterling, thank you so much, bro.
You're welcome
for these answers. We do have a closing tradition on this podcast with everything that you've been through and with like all of your experiences. What advice would you give your younger self, and would you still be doing the same thing?
I think I would have found someone who looks like they're where I want to go earlier on, and I would have stayed very close to them. Because one thing I realized is that you learn a lot more from modeling than you do from being taught. I hear a lot of people say it's caught, not taught. Meaning when you're in a certain environment around certain people, you catch certain behavior rather than being taught it.
Yeah.
I would have intentionally put myself around certain people at a much younger age, not because I had anything, not because I was looking for anything in particular, but because I was trying to catch certain stuff. Like, I remember the first time I went to a friend's house. I got there at midday, and his dad and his mum was at home because they're both business owners. And I said, it's midday.
Yeah.
Why are you guys home? Like, I was confused. My mum leaves the house at 7 a.m., comes back at 10 p.m. every single day. And I'm an only child. And my dad didn't live with us. So I was in the house. If I came home, I was by myself. So when I went into their house, I saw his mum and his dad at midday in the house. I said, this is a dream.
Yeah.
This is what having a business can do. And I caught something at that moment. I said, business can give me freedom. Business can mean I can be with my family at any time of the day. I learned that from being in that house on that day. If I never went to the house, I would have never caught it. And so I would put myself in more environments where I could have caught really powerful principles like that, because that shaped me to this day.
Yeah. Bruv. I mean, we finished on a banger, bro. This has been an episode full of, just so many insights, bro. Where is it people can find you?
Yeah, Sterling Record on pretty much everywhere, to be honest.
Lord Record on X, though. See, yes. I got you.
Do you know why? Do you know why? My dad has the same name as me. Okay. His name is Sterling Record as well.
Okay, so you're junior.
And he's taken it on X. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me what he's planning to do with it. But for some reason, I think one of my siblings decided that my dad should make an account and took the name. Yeah. And he doesn't use it. He's got like one follower. He's never tweeted in his life.
Fuming.
And I can't get the name. So there we go.
So Sterling Record it is on everything else.
yeah.
And to the listener, like, if you've made it to this point in the conversation, guys, please make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Let us know how you found the conversation. Let us know who you want to hear from next. This has been...
Make sure. This has been good. You're doing a great thing.
Bro, thank you.
Make sure you like this video, people, okay? Subscribe. And go back and listen to the other podcasts as well, because if you've enjoyed this one, I can guarantee you will enjoy the previous episodes.
Spoken like an expert. Yeah. This has been another episode of What My Best Friend Does. If you didn't know, now you know. Now go and take some immediate action.